In the summer of 1907, patrons flocked to see a new act at the Paradise Roof Garden, located above the Victoria Theatre and run by Willie Hammerstein. It was one of New York City's many elegant open-air rooftop theaters, which were popular at the time. The audiences were coming to enjoy comedy routines being performed for Sober Sue, a young woman who it was said that could not be made to laugh, and if anyone was able to, they would be given a $100 reward. Over the next few weeks, many comedians came to perform their best material, much to the delight of the attending theater-goers, but none were ever able to make Sober Sue laugh. It was eventually discovered that Sober Sue wouldn't have been able to laugh even if she had wanted to, because her facial muscles were paralyzed. The whole thing had been a scheme by Hammerstein and Johnny Pollock, Sue's press agent, to get New York's best comedians to perform for free. Many performers were not pleased with this revelation, and some may have attempted legal action against Hammerstein in order to bar Sue's performance. A notification in the New York Times on July 4, 1907 suggests as much, and gives her full name as Susan Kelly, the name she has often been referred to in most write-ups of her since. But we know very little about Sue herself. We do have a few pieces of information. She was black and from Philadelphia. At the time she started performing above the Victoria Theatre, her age was given as 22, but this is a couple years off from being congruent with reports of her appearances from a few years before she was with Hammerstein, and these earlier public appearances are often left out of what's been written about her since. In fact, references to a Philadelphia girl fitting Sue's description go back to at least as early as 1901, where she's mentioned under the name Susie Jenkins, which was probably her birth name, something that may have muddled research in later years. What happened after her famous appearance in the summer of 1907 isn't clear, though she is recorded as appearing with the same bounty for her laughter at least a year later. There are scattered references to a Sober Sue as late as the end of the 1940s, but whether it's the same woman, a copycat performer, or a performer using the same moniker for other kinds of acts isn't clear. But more time and research may shed light on this brief but legendary bit of vaudeville trickery.